Okay, so I will call this meeting of the special meeting of the Public Site and Building Commission to order at 7:18 PM. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. So this being a special meeting, we have to stick with what's on the agenda, so I'm going to go along with the agenda. Public input, anybody want to be public and do input, or are we?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know what is going on. There has been no work done on the police range for well over 2 to 3 weeks, going on a month now. And it's totally unacceptable. I don't know what the delay is and who's at fault for the delay, but it's totally unacceptable. We were supposed to have this project done and completed a long time ago.
Thank you for your input. Anyone else?
No, that's not what else. It's unacceptable, and I don't know what the delays are. Every time we just, oh, next meeting. It's finger pointing. It's Action Target's fault. It's the architect's fault. It's always somebody else's fault. But we're still waiting for this range to be completed. It's taking way too long. It's been 5 years now.
Okay, thank you for your input. Is there anyone else that wants to give some input? Okay. I'm going to move along to correspondence, which we don't have any. You didn't get anything? Nope. Okay. Kathy sent out the schedule for next year, and we have to check it and approve it if we're able to. If we're not, then we'd have to wait till the next meeting. But the schedule is emailed to everyone. We're staying with Wednesday nights, if that continues to be. We don't need to go back to Tuesdays, correct? Okay. So then I will make a motion that we approve the proposed 2024 meeting schedule that Kathy sent out to everyone.
I'll second that.
Roy seconds it. Is there any input? I know you already checked to make sure we didn't have any on holidays.
There is one at the end.
Yeah, which we don't have to worry about. So that's the way the schedule is. Any other questions on schedule? Good to go. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes. You'll file it with the town clerk, or do you need me to? Okay, thank you. Okay, and then approval of meeting minutes. I make a motion that we approve the regular meeting minutes of November 8th, 2023.
Second that.
Got second from John Menti. Does anybody have any input on that? Any changes that need to be made, et cetera?
I wasn't here.
Yeah, so you need to abstain. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. They do too. He needs to abstain. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And so we're good with that. Okay, so on to old business, police station training range. I see that Angela from STV is on with us. Angela, do you have an update for us?
No, I was expecting Evan to attend. Did he respond to this special meeting?
Yes, he and I were emailing. He was the one that asked us to have the special meeting so that we could get some things completed, some new schedules in place, et cetera. And but I haven't heard anything from him today when I contacted him several times.
Yeah, either have I. I'm a little worried because I tried texting him, tried calling him, so he's either driving or indisposed. Could we move this item to later in the agenda in the event that he's able to join?
What we're gonna do then is get an update from Kevin from,
Sure.
Yeah, I know Kevin could speak for Downs on the progress, but yeah, same thing with us. There was a pretty important PCO that we were hoping would be on the agenda tonight that's not, that would assist in moving along the unistrut framing. There's some additional roof work that's gonna need to be done. Mark over at Chikunsky and Humes reviewed it and we got that back to Evan, so a little concerning that he's not here and that's not on the agenda.
well, it would be on the agenda. But I know Evan was working all last week with, and the week before with Downs and with Chikunsky Humes on getting all the design work done, getting everything signed off, et cetera. He was also working on getting the information from Action Target. So just a brief overview, getting all the information from Action Target to the health department, which on Friday, we had an email from the health department saying that they had everything they needed. It sounded like they were ready to sign off on getting the rest of the permit in place. And Monday morning, I heard from Evan saying that he was checking in with the building department to make sure that they can move things along and keep going. And then I haven't heard anything since then.
So Nancy, Evan's the guy that the town of Bethel has hired to be the project manager of this, and he's not even at the meeting. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm concerned it's a health issue with himself or his father. So just let's not jump to conclusions. I'll try to get a hold of him again during this meeting.
so.
But again, this project keeps on getting delayed, and we don't even have the guy that's in charge of the project at the meeting that called for the meeting.
As she said, he could have an issue going on. And I don't know who Steven is, but
Yeah, I'm the police chief that's really frustrated that this project has not been any work on it for the last 3 weeks.
Okay. No,
That's who Steven is.
Okay. I
And
understand your
it's
frustration.
excuse after excuse, and I'm tired of the project being delayed. Tired of the project being delayed. I just want you guys to finish this project.
And we are working on that. We did have.
Yeah, I've heard that for 5 years, Nancy. I've heard that for 5 years.
Right, but 5 years ago, we didn't have any.
No, Nancy, it's been over 5 years. The excuse is, and we'll delay it to another 2 weeks for another meeting, and then another meeting, and then it's gonna be somebody else's issue. Oh, well, this person couldn't be here, Action Target couldn't be here, Evan couldn't be here. Why hasn't there been any work done on the range for over 3 weeks? Can anybody answer that question right now?
Yes, I can. So the building permit, which was only a partial permit, needed to be a complete permit. We needed to have the information that needed to go from.
Yeah, and the Lieutenant Libertini sent all that information to the health department a long time ago.
Right, and Laura asked for.
Yeah, and she delayed it.
She asked for
Our
more.
own town delayed the project again. Go on. Let's hear the other excuses.
She's not delaying it. She asked for more information. She asked for more information. Action Target said that they sent the information to her. We finally got to the bottom of that they did not send the information to her. So there's a new project manager who sent the information to her, and on Friday, she responded and said she's got everything she needs and should be ready to sign off on the rest of the permit.
Where's all the equipment for Action Target that they try to deliver?
They have delivered the range equipment. They haven't delivered the makeup air unit yet.
Yeah, and why not?
That's what we're trying to find out.
They did deliver it one day, but they didn't have a crane in place. The company that's supplying the makeup air unit got it to connect.
And Nancy, where is Evan answering all these questions? Isn't he supposed to be in charge of all this?
Yes. I don't know where he is. I don't know just what to say other than I don't know where he is.
But we're always quick to blame Action Target for holding up this project. We don't even have the project manager on the meeting right now.
I'm not looking to blame anyone.
Well, it seems people are.
I'm not looking to blame anyone. I'm looking to keep working on getting the answers that we need so that we can continue to move forward.
But we're not moving forward. We're constantly moving backwards.
We're not moving backwards. Moving back.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. This project has cost probably at least 25 to 30% more than it should have because of all the delays. Am I wrong?
If you're talking about from 5 years ago, we didn't have funding in place 5 years ago.
Yeah, all right.
Funding in place 5 years ago.
I just want, I got to answer, I have to answer to people. I have to answer the police commission. This project should have been done a long time ago, and there's been no work done for at least 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks now. And no one can answer why. Why?
I'm trying to answer now, okay? So.
No, you're talking in circles, Nancy.
No,
You're not answering why.
I am not talking in circles, Chief. We do not have a complete building permit right now because of the information that the health department needed. The health department.
No, they've had all that information. You're missing my point. They've had all that information for a long time.
Asked for different things. She asked for more information. We told her that we sent her that stuff. Lieutenant Libertini sent her stuff. She was sent stuff 2, 3, 4 years ago. She asked for different things. She wanted to speak to the engineer at Action Target. Instead, Action Target provided her recently with the info that answered the questions that she had. She's good with it now. We should be able to get the rest of the building permit in place and continue to work. The work has not been happening because the building permit was not completed. We could not continue to work without the building permit in place.
And why was the building why didn't Evan get the building permit completed?
Because Laura wouldn't sign off on it.
So our own health department held up this project, is what you're saying?
No, she was not holding it up. She was asking for the information that she felt she needed.
Hey, Mike Libertini, are you on this call?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Did you provide all the information she needed in a timely manner?
Twice, years ago when she was her first concerns. And then actually Dan Carter had asked me for it and I got it to him, I think the next day.
All right, thank you.
And she asked Action Target directly for information. I told her that we had given her that, not me personally, but that it was mostly going through Lieutenant Libertini, that all of that had been sent to her years ago. She asked specifically to speak to Action Target or to get the information from Action Target. They did not send, they said they sent it to her, they didn't, then they did. 2 weeks ago, they sent it to her. And as I said, on Friday, she's ready to sign off. We should be ready to go with the building permit. The work had to stop for 2 reasons. One, the building permit wasn't completed, so they could only do so much work. The second is the unistruts that are going to hold all the ceiling parts there, the baffles in place, had to be designed to, there had to be a redesign so that structurally it could fit into what was needed as per Action Target's plans and as for the Jukunsky-Humes plan. So Jukunsky-Humes got that redone. It's been all signed off on, and we are supposed to be tonight having a change order to consider so that we can get those in place, because we never had a figure in place to complete that. We had a budget number, but we,
Nancy, if I could just speak to that. My concern with this, and I guess my frustration with this was there was no secret here what was going to be hung from that ceiling. This is, the architect knew that from the start. No matter what company we went with to build us a range, they knew exactly what was going to be bolted to that ceiling. And I don't understand now why, when we go to bolt it to the ceiling from the building that they built that was intended to be a range by the architect who engineered it, why it is now a problem.
We had the same concerns. We asked the same questions. We had them go back and recheck it. We hammered Jukunsky-Humes on it because of the design. We did the whole same thing. Everyone has been working on this, okay? They probably shouldn't have gone as far as where they should have gone with the construction to start off with. They were trying to move things along while the permit could get issued. They had to stop. We've been going
I'm not suggesting that you guys are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm suggesting that we pay people.
One at a
No,
time.
we've been going round and round on these unit structures. It's not like we haven't spent time on this. I'm quite offended by that.
Okay, I didn't say that, so you can not talk to me that way. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that
Bill Humes over this. This is what came back 6 times that we've gone back and forth on this. Because
okay. If you're not going to let me speak, then that's fine.
We know that.
But what I don't understand is we're paying someone big money to take care of all this. And no offense to you guys or us, but this is way outside of our expertise. And you as the building committee and me as a police officer, police chief and a lieutenant, we're going round and around. We're not the experts in this. We're paying someone big money right now. And why aren't they here talking to this?
Well, unfortunately, as Nancy said, we don't know what's happened with.
I mean, but why isn't the architect here? Why isn't, this? I mean, guys, I'm not trying to give you guys a hard time by any means, because I know you guys are volunteering your time, and I know it's very frustrating, and you're also dealing with school projects, and I really respect all 4 of you sitting, and the 5th guy in the camera, Horvath. I mean, I know you as well, but this is so frustrating on our end that every month we get another excuse of why this project is delayed, and every month it seems like something is going up or there's a change order, and not necessarily a bad change order, but like things that we didn't even discuss, like, changing the HVAC to be a 24-hour system that was never, ever originally discussed. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't know anything about it, but now it's increasing the cost, delaying the project. We want a range. We want a range that we could train in. We're hiring people, and we don't even have a place that we could train people to shoot a gun. But we have $1.4 million that was approved how many years ago now? I mean, you guys know better than I do. Was it a year and a half ago? And we have nothing to show for it, and nothing has been done in over a month, but yet we just point fingers at each other. Something needs to be done. I'm sorry to give you guys a hard time. John Menti, I see you sitting there. You were instrumental in getting this police department built, and I respect that. John Perna, Nancy, Roy, you guys all been great. I don't mean to give you guys a hard time, but we need to all get together and do something about getting this project complete. This is ridiculous.
So I agree with you, no argument. We have withheld money. We've been trying. And again, it's excuse after excuse. I understand your frustration. Trust me, we all do. They kind of have us right now. And trust me, I do this for a living, right? I build stuff for a living. A lot of us do. It's ridiculous. No argument. And I'll speak for myself and not the committee. But I wish there was a way that we really could just stop them in their tracks and get stuff delivered and get it done. But again, when they don't show up, we can't make them show up. And trust me, I wish we could. The frustration is with all of us, and this should have been done a long time ago. No argument. But in my opinion, I'm not even sure where we go from here, to be completely honest with you.
So,
I mean, honestly, this is really unacceptable. And if the average taxpayer knew what was going on, I mean, we all look like fools, to be honest with you. I mean, we really do.
Well,
we
got 2 possible ways to go. We can either try to keep working the system the way we're going, or we can come to a screeching halt and talk to the lawyers and go back that way. Okay, there's 2 ways to go in my mind.
Right.
So, we're trying to take the high road here. We're trying to move this along. It's painful. Believe me, it's painful on our side.
But Roy, where is Evan? When we had this with the woman before, was it Geraldine or whatever her name was? she was at every meeting and she was answering every question. Maybe it's time that we find a new person that could deal with this stuff.
I
Because
know.
obviously he can't.
Chief,
Geraldine never had any issue talking to Action Target, did she?
We gotta stop beating on Evan. She
No.
said he has something personal going on with his father. And we gotta.
Yeah, but he's been like, John, he's been like this before. He's been like this before tonight.
He's been at every
He's been
meeting,
at every meeting.
and Angela has her
And
hand.
he's the one that always, whatever. I mean,
Have something you wanted to put in? You have your hand up?
Yeah, is it okay for me to speak now?
Yes.
And you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I just like to say that I think everybody's opinions here are valid, right? And I do understand the frustration. I'm almost at 30 years of experience in the construction industry. I'd like to say that what Nancy's reported, as well as the other people on this project, is consistent with what Evan's been telling me. Evan reports to me a couple times a week on progress with his projects. And yes, he does have a very serious personal situation with his father. I'm guessing that's what it is. And that's absolutely excusable if that's why he's not at this meeting. So I will find out why he's not at this meeting and report back to you. That's my job. I'm his superior. My observations about this project is that everybody is working diligently to move this forward, and there have been some challenges with the project, as there is in construction, especially since COVID. The construction industry has completely changed with lead times, coordination, budgets, everything has changed. The projects don't go as smoothly as they used to. We all have to be ready for curveballs at any point in time, for schedule changes. It happens, and it's regular occurrence now. We all have to be agile and accepting of how projects change from day to day. But nobody is holding up this project on purpose. The couple of things uniquely that have happened lately to delay this project have been the health department issue. And it's not uncommon that an authority having jurisdiction, whether it's a building official, fire marshal, health official, will come up with additional questions that they may not have had previously. And the reason for that is they see the original plans or original pieces of information, and they digest that and they think everything's fine. But once they receive additional information or see the site or whatever it is, they may have more requests for information, more requests for equipment and so forth. And that's their purview. That's their right to ask for additional information. We have to be ready for that and respond to it as has been done. The other is the coordination between the requirements for the structural for the change order that's supposed to be discussed tonight. Now, I would like to dive deeper into that and get a better answer from Jakunsky as to why that happened. This is a typical change order. It shouldn't be, but a lot of times, especially in public bid, when you're bidding information based on a certain vendor, whether it's the vendor you get or not, you may not have the right supports in place for that specific equipment because equipment between different vendors varies. There also could be a misunderstanding that that equipment is coming with its own bracing. So I think it's fair to ask Jakunsky for a response in writing as to why that scope was missed. And I appreciate everybody on this call understanding that the scope was missed, and it's not like anybody owes the town money for that. It simply wasn't part of the bid project, and now it needs to be bought. And then lastly, I think, Kevin from Downs has been waiting patiently, and I'm sure he has input on these items. And I'd like for each person who has input on this project to have the time to speak about it without being interrupted. So that's what I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Angela. Mark Allen we did question, at the last meeting, question the need for further review and design on the unistruts. We asked a lot of questions at the last meeting. And Mark Allen from Jakunsky Humes had answers for us. And as Angela said, you do get in different construction projects, initial design put out there, and bid packages go out with that design information, and then after further review, it's found that something may need to be redesigned, it may need to be beefed up a little bit, et cetera, et cetera. So that's my understanding, Mark Allen, of kind of where we're coming from as far as the need for re-looking at, so to speak, the Unistrut, is that correct?
Yes, the Unistrut is a delegated design system. That means that the contractor that installs it is the one that's going to design it. We were hoping that we could get the Unistrut installed on the underside of the planks because the roofing is already in place. They went through that engineering effort and they could not find a place where they were comfortable using a design where the Unistrut is installed from the underside. They then proposed another system where it's secured from the top side, and that's the design we're moving forward with right now. It is never a system that we were to design. We designed the structure of the building, the structure, or the connection between Action Target's equipment and our structure is delegated design. That's the responsibility of the installing contractor.
And so that's all the information that both Anthony and Kevin have been working on with Evan as far as getting the contractor who's already in place to look at that redesign and then come up with what additional items need to happen as far as getting those installed, because we're pretty much ready to have them installed. And Anthony, I don't know if you or Kevin have anything you want to add in on that. If there was supposed to be information sent out to us ahead of time, we did not receive it.
Yeah, so Kevin worked with our roofing. So because of that change in the structural design and the fastening of the Unistrut framing, it's going to involve some roofing work to modify the existing roof to install that. Kevin assembled a change order proposal that we got to Evan earlier in the week that we're hoping would make it on tonight's agenda for approval. That would allow us to keep going. Our subcontractors are ready. And Chief, I apologize, I've never met you before, but Downs, our portion is fairly small. The construction is more like an enabling package to kind of prep the space so that Action Target could get in there and do their work. But I know our portion of the work, the electrical roughing that Rogers has done is substantially complete. The fire protection and sprinkler work is substantially complete within that space, as well as some of the masonry work and some of our HVAC work, which is a lot smaller in comparison to what Action Target's doing, in some of the support spaces. But yes, there was a proposal tonight to be reviewed and approved. I know Mark did review that from Jakunski and Humes and signed off on it. Our Miss Metals contractor is at our direction based on the previous approval for the Unistrut is fabricating the pieces needed. So if we could get the approval for the roofing component, our subcontractors are ready to get back on site as early as next week to get the Unistrut framing. Now, I can't speak on behalf of Action Target. That's not part of our contract. That was contracted separately as far as the makeup air unit. But I know I could say they did deliver their interior range equipment, which is on pallets, and it's waiting for the Unistrut to be completed. And that's where we're at now. I think we're very close to getting over the hump on the interior portion. But there has been some progress made, probably not noticeable because it's a small portion of the overall component of the range. But we're working with Evan. I know Evan has been coordinating between Downs and Action Target, working with Jakunski and Humes. I don't know where he is. Kevin and I, we tried the past couple of days to get a hold of him, so hopefully it's nothing serious. But we're very close to getting over this hurdle to turn it over where Action Target could get in there and fit out the space.
So, Kevin, do you have any?
Can I say something?
Okay, go ahead.
Mark from Jakunski and Hume said that there was a redesign. I'm really confused. You guys engineered drawings for a range. You've built other police departments. You've built other police departments that have ranges. You know what goes into them. There is no surprise how much AR 400 and AR 500 steel weighs. And you know that there has to be baffles in the ceiling. So why is there now a concern, or why didn't you engineer a building that had a roof that there was no question about what was going to hang from it? And why wasn't it done?
Lieutenant, the roof structure will support the equipment. That is what we are responsible for designing. And that's what we designed 5 years ago when we designed the building. The roof structure for the range will support the baffles. The thing that we are not responsible for designing is the connection of the baffles to the roof structure. That is the delegated design. That's the responsibility of the installing contractor. I don't know how to state that any clearer.
Oh, no, I understand, Mark. But how do you, in other police agencies that you've built ranges for, how have they hung steel from your ceiling?
There have been different arrangements of the attachment to the underside of these planks. In this particular case, out of the 6 or 7 that we've designed with concrete planks, this is the only one that had a roof already installed. And we were hoping to maintain that roof that you already have installed. Ultimately, we found that we couldn't do it. So this new engineering is going to involve cutting into your existing roof.
But
So
that's
I just don't understand how you know something's going to be hung from. Why was the roof put on then? Again, there's no secret that this was going to be built as a range. So,
well, the roof is from when the building was constructed 5 years ago.
I understand that, but you knew what the building was going to be, and you knew what was going to be hung from inside there. So why was the roof,
okay,
Not
I guess,
designed correctly.
completed without having the ability to hang something from it, without having to now?
let me just get in here. Every large construction project, even sometimes small ones, have items, multiple items often, where there have to be, I guess we could start out by calling them, and Mark Allen, you can correct me, something like shop drawings. When something is specified to be in a space or be installed somewhere, sometimes it's a little bit more general, and then the person, the subcontractor, whoever's involved with installing it, has to provide shop drawings for the architect, for the construction manager to look at, sign off on, etc. Sometimes those things are taken care of inside the scope of work that was put out there during the bid process and in the bid package, and other times it's not. So we're looking at something right now where, in some ways, we're looking at these shop drawings that we have to now say, okay, that's how we have to do it in this specific.
Yeah, but didn't we have all that when we did this way back when from Action Target?
No.
We knew what we were doing.
I've had plans from Action Target since 2017,
Plans.
before we even built the building.
This is construction, all right? You've had plans, we have plans. We had, I don't know how many different times on our school renovation projects where once we got the shop drawings on something, we had to make some changes in order.
So we built a roof that wasn't for what we wanted when
Yes.
Action Target told us what we needed. That makes no sense.
The roof is fine. The roof structure, the structure of the roof is fine. The structure of the roof is fine. What has to happen is a support has to go up through the roof to be
Yeah, but
attached.
why that doesn't, originally that shouldn't have been done, and you guys approved a roof that doesn't support what we need? That makes no sense.
It does support what we need. It supports it. It's just being installed in a different way. It's a construction thing that, as I said, there are times when a lot of us will look at, we get something and it says, these are the shop drawings, they're a little bit different than what was called for. It has to be a little bit of a redesign, and
But why should it be a redesign when we knew what we were doing from the get-go? We knew what Action Target
Yeah,
needed.
Before that building was even put up, Action Target made it very clear what was gonna be installed in there. So
Yeah.
why
So
those,
why should
so-
there shouldn't be a redesign, Nancy?
it's not a specific structural thing. It's the way they're being attached.
I understand that, but why wasn't a way to attach steel panels that everyone knew was gonna go in the range? Why wasn't there a that taken care of before the roof was put on?
Because as
Yeah.
Mark Allen just said, it's up to the subcontractor, the steel, structural steel contractor who's installing them to approve what was put out there as far as in the bid packages. What was approved is a change of scope of work.
But there was no change of scope of work. We knew exactly what we needed from Action Target way back when. The roof was designed around what Action Target told us what we needed. So there shouldn't be any kind of redesign or change orders necessary.
Shop drawings. Can anybody else explain shop drawings?
Chief, Steve,
Yes,
If you don't understand it,
hold on.
Angela's gonna tell us.
Can I say something? 5
Yeah.
years, when we did not have, we finished the range shell. We had the money to finish the range shell. We did
Right.
not have funds to complete the inside of the range. Now, if we had the funds to complete the inside of the range, this same issue would have been addressed, but they would have put the struts or the hanger through the current roof like they want to do now, and then roofed over that. Unfortunately, we didn't have the money, so now we have to go back and it has to get put in how it would have been done 5 years ago. We wanted it, everybody wanted, including the police department and including the police commission at the time and including the board of selectmen, they wanted that shell done, and we did the shell. That's all we had the money for. 5 years later, we got that $1.4 million to finish the inside of the range. Well, unfortunately, and Lieutenant Levitini is 100% right. We had plans. We did not have final approved shop drawings from Action Target. We had the overall plan with the nice pictures and everything else, but we didn't have the specifications for hanging what would be required at that time. That's where the shop drawings come in place. And unfortunately, this is where we're at right now, and we're trying to make the best of it.
So Angela, what did you have to, if you can explain the concept a little clearer or in a way?
right. Okay. So the gentleman who just spoke is getting closer to the reason why this is going on. This has to do with the public bidding environment and the fact that this was phased. Because it's delegated design and you need a structural engineer for some of that, when you couldn't do it at the time and it was phased, it would not make sense to put the bracing in, because you wouldn't know in a public bid environment if that piece of equipment would be the exact piece of equipment that was actually going to win the bid, right? So you would have spent money installing something that maybe wouldn't even work for what was going to be accepted in the bid. Also, over
That's
time, products change, requirements change, and so forth. So
That's not accurate, but-
Continue, Angela.
Was somebody speaking?
Go ahead, keep going. You're speaking
Okay.
now. Thank you.
Right. I mean, every project is different, but this is typical. You're not going to install more than what you need to unless you're absolutely sure that that is going to happen and that exact product is going to happen and that product is not going to change. Nobody can predict the future. So, I mean, you could have gone either way. You could have spent the money and put the struts in or whatever the components are and then hoped that it worked out. I think Personally, I've seen this kind of situation where projects are phased. You know, we're making a huge issue out of this, and this is actually kind of a normal process where things are phased. You want to wait for that equipment, you want to wait for that shop drawing to make sure that you're going to install exactly what needs to be installed. I think there's a tendency in this meeting to be finger pointing right now instead of just listening to what the process is and how people are working very hard right now to get to a resolution and move forward.
Angela, I've been
Yes.
listening for 5 years of you know, so it's not finger pointing. I've been listening for 5 years. 5 years. So don't say I'm sitting here listening and trying to finger point. I'm listening. I'm tired of listening, and I want
That wasn't
action.
actually directed at you, Chief. I apologize
no,
if you took it that way.
But no, I'm
Just
tired
directed
of,
at me? I don't understand. I'm not being rude
no,
to
but
anybody.
we're tired.
I'm asking questions that are legitimate. And when you say that a range is built and you want to know what the final product is, the AR 400 and AR 500 steel is any range you go to, it's going to be hanging from the ceiling. It has to protect the
Right,
equipment.
but
that's
I'm
up there.
just saying things
So it's
change
not-
over time. Those
But they
decisions were
haven't
made.
changed in 40 years. And I'm just saying, when you have engineers and you have architects putting things together, you knew that there was going to be steel hanging from that ceiling, period. No one can
I
tell
did
me that
not
they didn't know.
We did
Well,
not
you
know
don't
it
build
was going to be
ranges.
your exact product. We did not know if it was actually ever going to happen. I mean, you cannot predict the future. I'm just saying
It's
that's
not
what
the
the
future,
process is.
Angela. We've known this for 5 years. We've known what we're getting for
Right,
5
but
years.
it's also it's a public bid. You don't know exactly what you're going to get in a public bid environment.
What were they going to put up there? Legos? It was going to be AR 500 steel.
Oh, please,
to withstand rifle
you
fire.
asked to be respected earlier when you were speaking.
We need to cut this off.
All right, so right now, what we're gonna do.
So these are the people that the town pays
I'm
for?
sorry. You know, I don't know. Really don't think I've been rude to anybody. I'm asking questions that are serious here. And I put a lot of work. I'm the one
The
who started
Lego
this
comment
project.
is not serious.
Well, it
feel like
is serious.
I've given
because
a
what do you
really good
think-
explanation about the public bidding environment process. And, you know,
All right. Nancy, let's move on. We're not going to get anywhere with this.
I honestly don't think things. No, I actually agree with Mr. Steiner. I think we should get attorneys involved and find out who is to blame here, because I don't think I don't think that this has been done appropriately at all.
Be careful what you wish for, because you're crying about the range not being finished.
I'm not crying about anything.
That'll take long.
All right, I'm not
Mike,
crying
Mike.
about anything.
Sat here all night and took a beating for us volunteering our time to do this.
I'm not beating you up. I'm not blaming you.
Oh, come
John.
on. Please listen
John.
to this. 20 minutes of people saying that it's a
People, not me.
All right.
We volunteer our time.
Okay.
It's totally out of control now.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do, okay? Here's what we're going to do right now. So Anthony and Kevin, are you able to give us some information on that change order? So we are,
So we know what we're talking.
so we know what we're talking about, we know what we're looking at. And
Yeah, we'll have to put together another special meeting and.
so and this is what we have to think about too. Our next regular meeting is not for 2 weeks. It's December.
What a surprise. Here we go again.
December 13th. So mute Pugner, please. Thank you. So our next regular meeting would be December 13th. We could have a special meeting next week. I don't know as we could do it before then, partly because of all of our schedules. And then we need to have the information get out to us from Downs on that change order so we can make an informed decision. But if Kevin and Anthony could give us some information now, I think that we'll know kind of what we're going to be looking at and where to go from here. I don't know if you have anything you can screen share, or if you just want to tell us what we're looking at. And is it basically having to do repairs on the roof once the connections go through the roof?
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull it up.
Yeah, Anthony, you want me to share it or?
Yeah, if you have it, Kevin, you could pull it up.
Yeah,
Like I
let me pull it
mentioned,
up.
this was sent to Evan a couple days ago. Mark over at Chikunsky and Humes has reviewed and signed off on it. So in essence, what we have to do now is get the roofer on site to cut open 4 90+ foot length strips on the roof so that the fastening attachments for the unistrut framing could be drilled and dropped through the precast plank. And then he'll have to patch the roof back and maintain the warranty. We were able to get the proposal from Greenwood Roofing, who was the original roofing contractor, so that they would maintain the warranty, the 20-year warranty that's on the roof. Yeah, there's the proposal there. And what we could do, Kathy, is again, in Evan's absence, we could certainly share this with the building committee tomorrow. And if there's a way you guys could review it and maybe coordinate a special meeting. Like I said, our Miss Metals contractor, he was already on board from the previous issue of the unistrut framing. So, he's got his parts and pieces, but it's really all, contingent upon getting this approved and the roofer out on site.
So the largest part is roofing. It doesn't,
Yeah, this is all roofing pretty much, and then, a little bit of increase, and add a dumpster on site and a little bit of, extra supervision and safety. None of our scope previously had roof work on it. So yeah, I mean, a majority of that 25,000 to 23 is all roof work to cut open the 90-foot lengths of roofing and insulation and cover board, membrane, and then reattach it after the Miss Metals guy drops in his anchors from. So they got to be attached from above because the roof structure and again, the roof structure will support it. It's just the fastening, the attachment method has changed because again, if the project was under construction, there would have been an opportunity to do that years ago. But again, without approved shop drawings and all that, you wouldn't have known that. So at this point, we have to pay a roofer to come and basically cut and patch the roof and maintain the warranty.
so that doesn't include anything with the metal, the unistruts?
No, the metal was previously approved. We talked to him. The change of fastening, there's no additional cost, no credit back. He had previously held the expansion anchors, which were, a little pricey, but in this application now, he has to do 4-inch steel plates with threaded rod going through the roof. So that kind of washed out. So no additional Miss Metals cost. This is only roofing to complete the installation of the framing.
And you said, Anthony, that Greenwood, who was the original roofer, will patch it and still keep it under the same 20-year sun warranty.
Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's written to their
Yeah,
proposal.
he's got that written in his proposal. So what happens is, Greenwood did the original roof and it has the 20-year warranty. You guys are only 5 or 6 years into that. So when they patch it, they'll call the roofing manufacturer out there. They'll do a field inspection and they'll maintain that warranty for the duration of the original warranty, the 20-year period.
That's going to answer a lot of questions. Thank you.
Do you want Kevin to, zoom it in so you guys can see it?
No, I can see the figure. Yeah.
Can we vote on this then?
So before we voted on it, I would want to know what we've got left in contingency.
We don't have that number.
So we need to wait. I think it would be prudent for us to do that. Okay, so what do we have there? $25,432.39. Okay. So, and I think this is a question that Roy asked last week too, or last meeting, or maybe John did. Are there other change orders, and I'm asking Anthony and Kevin, that you are kind of seeing floating around out there that could be possibilities so that we can look at the budget and know where we stand with everything.
So we did submit a proposal to, I don't think it made it onto, to you guys yet, but it was so in the existing range, there were 2 exit signs, like battery operated exit signs that were no longer working. So we asked the question in an RFI, and the response was to replace them. And it was like $300. So not a huge number, but again, it's something that hasn't been presented yet. And beside that, let me look to see what else I have.
Yeah, I think Kevin, right, we have a motorized damper item. There's 2 motorized dampers. There was a note on the drawing. It got missed with the mechanical bid, so that would be a construction contingency item that would come out of the Downs. I think we
Right.
got $8,000
Yeah, it was a missed scope item.
in there, and that was like $2,500.
Yeah.
So that would come out of your construction contingency.
Yeah, it was, we didn't, the note was there. We didn't ask the question for the detail, and we missed that, so we'll cover that out of CM contingency.
And I mean, beyond that, I don't foresee anything else. We're at a point at the project where, all the electrical rough-in is complete, all the fire protection is complete. We just have to coordinate some items with Action Target once their baffles are in. The CMU wall for the vestibule is built. We have the door frame up. So I don't foresee anything else, but I can't guarantee anything. But historically speaking, where we are phase-wise with this project, where we are completion, I don't foresee anything.
So I think that we need to just exercise a little bit of caution. We could go ahead and approve that tonight, but I think we need to look at the overall budget first, which we don't have right here, right now. And I know it means waiting. If we can do a special meeting next week, put that together, get everything out, get all the information out to everyone so that we can make a more informed decision. Because I don't want us to be looking at, between what you've got Downs in your construction contingency and what we have in contingency. We want to make sure that we're still within the budget, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So we're gonna delay this again, Nancy?
No, we're not delaying it. We are
Yeah,
not.
we are.
No one's been delaying anything. They're working.
All right.
best
All right,
we
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so
Thank
we're
you.
going to, let's check though to make sure, can everybody do a special meeting next Wednesday? Yes. Hopefully David Horvath, yes, and Lieutenant Durkin, and we'll see if Dave Olson and Gerald Roche can be a part of it too. And then we will get all that information together.
So Nancy, I just have a question.
Yes,
Why are we not voting on, why are you guys not voting on this tonight? I mean, if, what are you gonna say, no, and just not move the project forward?
I think we need to.
I'm very confused once again, why we just keep on delaying things.
We are not delaying anything.
You guys constantly obstruct this project moving forward.
Making an informed decision.
So make the decision. You have your meeting right now. You have the figures, vote on it.
We do not know the overall budget figures right now.
Why don't you know? You're the building committee. How do you not know the overall budget figures right now? You guys meet on a regular basis. How do you not know the overall budget figures right now? Can you answer that question?
I don't have them.
How do you not have them with you? You're the building committee.
Do you have the budget?
I don't have.
Do you have the budget? Do you have the budget?
How, wait, you have a meeting tonight and you don't have budget figures in front of you?
Because
How is that possible?
we get updated budget figures from Evan on a regular basis. We don't have those right now.
We don't do
You don't
this,
have the budget figures from the last meeting?
this full time. So we rely on the people that, yeah, but
John, you don't have to do this anymore. John, John, if you're really that perturbed about doing this, then don't do it anymore. Honestly,
Yeah,
That's not an answer, okay?
Yeah.
That's not an answer.
no, but I am tired of the excuses of this project being delayed.
I think we wanna make sure
We want
Why
to,
are you, no, listen, you guys have a
Steve,
meeting and you don't have the budget figures? Don't you have the budget figures from the last meeting in front of you?
Steve, you need to stop. What do you want us to do?
I want you guys to vote on moving this project forward.
Not happening, we
It's
don't
not
know
gonna
that.
we are moving the project forward. We move the project forward every day. Every day that someone's working
No,
on it.
you don't.
Yes, we do.
There hasn't been action on that range in over 3 weeks.
There has been
3 weeks again.
about the work that's been done. So we're gonna stop right now. We're going to have a special meeting next
But
Wednesday.
you're not answering, Nancy, no one is answering my question right now. You're the building committee, correct?
Yes.
How do you not have the numbers? How do you have a meeting? You had a meeting 2 weeks ago, correct?
Yes,
Did you have numbers then?
3 weeks ago.
All right, then you should have the same numbers that you had 3 weeks ago in front of you.
They're not the same. We need
Then-
updates.
Then why didn't you update them? Why did you have a meeting without updated numbers?
I don't update them. Evan does.
I mean, the reality is, we know it's close. I mean,
Yes.
you know, that's why I think Nancy is making the prudent move to take a look at the budget and make sure that we're gonna be within budget.
So there's no,
It's very close. We've taken out money already on this. We had a previous change order that we had.
Yep.
So, you know, and I don't know what the number is myself. I know it's close.
yeah, yep. So we're going to make an informed decision. We are not going to.
Guys, I have a $5 million budget. I know what my numbers are before I have a meeting to discuss stuff. Sorry. How do you guys have a meeting and don't even know what your numbers are? That's absolutely absurd. So we just wasted all these people's time tonight just to have a meeting next week, basically. Am I wrong?
No, you are wrong. We have had a meeting tonight so we can get an update and move on.
But we haven't moved on. We're going right back to where we were 3 weeks ago.
No, we're not going back to where we were 3 weeks ago. We continue to move forward.
Can I say one thing? You know, 5 years ago, when the original police station went over budget, we got our heads bashed in for going over budget. Now, if we go over budget with this project without seeking additional funds, we are gonna get our heads bashed in again. And I know I'm not gonna allow it. Because I am not gonna go through that same crap I went through 5 years ago when I was chairman. And by then, and by the way, remember 5 years ago, when we went over budget and we're getting our heads bashed in, the police department all of a sudden had amnesia and didn't say a damn thing to help us or protect us. The police commission or the police department. I'm not gonna go through this again, Steve. I'm sorry, it's not fair to us. We have to do our due diligence as you do, as a senior officer in this town. You have responsibilities and so do we. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. I'm not gonna have my head bashed in again by the Board of Finance that we have today, because boy, they are looking for blood.
John, it's nothing it's nothing against you guys, but this shouldn't continue the way it's continuing. And I'm not necessarily saying it's your fault.
We all agree.
But this is listen, I've been sitting back and trying to just let things get done, but this is like out of control, ridiculously being delayed. And it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous now.
Not being delayed, it's not out of control.
Where's Action Target's air handler right now? Can you guys answer that question?
It's sitting in a yard in Prospect, Connecticut.
Why isn't it being delivered?
They
Oh,
won't, the last we heard, Action Target would not deliver it unless we gave them another $300,000. We did not agree to that because
We've already paid them
we've
$300,000.
already, we paid them more than that.
600.
We paid them almost
I
$600,000.
gave him 600.
And
What does our contract say?
they don't have, they did not have in their contract a payment schedule or schedule of values.
All
So
right.
they asked for payment, we paid them for plans. They asked for another payment, we paid them that.
Got more than half the project paid for on this, and we don't have anything there, so.
Well, the
what we
range,
do.
the range equipment is there, the MAU
Yeah.
is not.
Guys, again, I'll stop, but I don't mean to give you four in front of me, and I know that the other guys, Horvath's on as well. I'm not giving you guys a hard time by any means, because I know you guys are volunteering your. No, listen, I know you guys are volunteering your time, but we have to hold somebody accountable for all these delays and all these crazy change orders. We have to hold somebody accountable and get this stuff done. It's not your fault.
Right,
You know,
so we're
and
looking
this
at,
is why we hired the outside firm this time, so we didn't have these issues. And we're quite frankly, we're having more issues on this little range project than we did on the main police station for some reason. Am I wrong?
I mean, I just gotta tell you, it's a sign of the times. We're doing this in our business every day. Every single item that we do is pulling teeth, okay? So this, as frustrating as it is, that's what this industry is going through now. So, we gotta work with it. We gotta do the best we can. We're trying to make the best of it. I think everyone is doing a good job as far as where
Yes.
we're going. We're just, we have the same questions on things, but we just can't, roll over on these. We have to get the answers. We have to get, we have to understand it. But
Yeah.
it's very frustrating. It's just as frustrating to us.
and we're not looking at who to blame, and we're not
Yeah.
looking at who's gonna make excuses. We're looking at getting the work done.
Yeah.
We're not gonna stand around and pointing fingers, and we're not gonna say, we're not gonna come up with a who's to blame, because that doesn't help. What we need are people a team, which we have with Downs and Jakunski Humes and STV and us, to work together to get things, to continue to move things forward. Downs has been working on it, so has Jakunski Humes, and so has STV. All that information has to come to us. Most of the time, it's just an update, but periodically it has to be approval for us. We have to make a motion.
So
We are
let me,
not making motions tonight
But-
because we feel like we need to have more
And
information.
unfortunately, Steve, this is the first time Evan has not been to a meeting, okay?
okay, well, and I feel bad if if he's got issues with father. It's a lot, I completely understand that. But I just don't understand how you guys don't at least have figures in front of you that you can make knowing that you had to make a decision on this tonight.
2 weeks ago, but as
3
things
weeks ago.
keep,
They-
3 weeks ago, yeah,
It keeps changing.
holiday, and
Yes.
things are changing, so we.
So just one last question and I'll stop. But what happens if there's not enough money in the contingency to do this? What do we do next?
We have to figure it out.
Look at other avenues.
We have to figure it out.
I think we've gotta look at other things,
I mean, I thought the 1.4 million was way above and beyond what we needed, when that's kind of why we asked for that amount 2 years ago now. And that's surprising that we're there already, but that's,
again, the sign of the times.
yeah, no, I get it. All right,
Well,
guys, I'll stop and listen, if I offended you guys in any way, I apologize. I really appreciate what all you guys do. I really, truly do. Don't mean to give you guys a hard time. It's just very frustrating right now.
I understand.
All right, I'll let you guys move on. Thank you.
All right.
Nancy, I have one more suggestion before the chief gets off.
Sure.
It sounds like, part of Chief's frustration is that he has people he has to report to that need to use this range. So I'm going to work with Evan and Downs to update the schedule. So, and again, schedule's a moving target, but the best we can do is communicate with the chief to make sure that he understands what the expectations are to the people he needs to communicate with.
Right.
Okay.
I think Downs was gonna give us an updated schedule based on having this change order go through, but it's gonna be a little bit of more of a change in the schedule now, with having to wait on the change order. So, but that's, I think, Angela, that would be helpful if we can communicate through, Evan, I think, usually communicates with Lieutenant Durkin, and we can include Chief Pugner and Lieutenant Libertini if he wants, and get some sort of updated schedule going once we get moving forward with the change order. All right, so does Anthony or Kevin, do you have anything else you need us to know before we get into a special meeting next week?
No, not that I could think of.
Okay, and then hopefully we'll find out from the building department soon, in the next couple of days, where we stand with the permit. As I said, what I felt, or what I read from the health department, we should be good to go.
Yeah, I know on our end, on the Downs end, we spoke to Jolene today. They've issued, our electrical for Rogers, our mechanical for Mega, and the general building for Downs. So sounds like they're getting close. So maybe they'll be close with the action target portion.
Right, yeah, and so then we have to find out who has to be pushing on that, whether it's Action Target themselves or whether Evan will do that. Okay. Anybody have anything else they need to put in? So look for a announcement of a special meeting next week. We'll do it same time, same place, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have anything else because a lot of the stuff that was supposed to go out didn't go out, so we can't review anything else. And the only other thing on the agenda was the school projects, which we were gonna look at.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Angela?
Yes.
Kevin cannot make next week's meeting. Could you possibly try to get the updated information on what you can from him?
Absolutely.
We'd really appreciate that because, again, whatever issues that might be going on, we all understand that somebody needs to kind of fill in for him until this.
Yeah. I'll work to make sure that actually Nancy has it before the meeting so that it's in a packet or whatever and it's fully prepared. You're not seeing it for the first time at the meeting.
We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, it kind of needs to go out by Monday.
Okay.
It goes out the end of this week for everyone, and then we have to make sure it gets posted. Do we still have to do that? Post it.
Okay.
Along with all the other meeting information.
Great. Will do.
Yeah, we should be able to just do this and not have to do other things and just get it done and move on.
Yeah, one of the important things is going to be the updated budget amounts.
Yep.
And what's left in the contingency, obviously.
Right.
That's really important.
All right, thank you, everyone. The only other thing on the agenda was the schools, and Evan was gonna give us an update on that to find out if Sunburst finished up what they were supposed to do. We'll have to wait on that. Otherwise, I think we should be good.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Done. Thank you very much, everyone.
Good night.